and turpentine. And don't tell the doctors nowadays. Yeah. I know he mentioned about the time she was confined to a bed. One of their family members, I believe, had fashioned kind of a splint out of a piece of pipe that was shaped like a leg. But she remembered when she got back on her feet as far as being able to walk on crutches, after the lights were out at night, she would ditch the crutches and walk around in her room, and she's kind of surprised she didn't re-injure herself. She also shared a few thoughts about discipline in her home as a child. She said, "We didn't have a lot of material goods, still we never felt any lack. Looking back, I can appreciate now how hard our parents worked for us and how much they did. And we were mostly good children, and we loved and respected our parents. We usually obeyed them as a matter of course. I do remember one incident, though," she says. "Daddy came home and found us playing in the mud. He said if he caught us doing that again, we would get spankings. Next night, same thing. We had been promised a spanking, so Mom saw that we got one. The next night, muddy children again. Dad had to carry out his promised punishment, so the twins each got a couple of spanks and I got a couple of pats. I remember knowing I should cry since I was being punished, but really it didn't hurt at all." Sounds pretty severe, doesn't it? Now listen to this part. "Then Daddy squatted down to my level, wiped my tears, and said, 'Tell Mama to get her coat and we'll go to the picture show.' So much for discipline. But we didn't play in the mud anymore. Incidentally, movies at that time were silent films and black and white. Usually someone played the piano. It still was a treat for us." And then just a couple more quick things. She said, "The first car we had was when I was 11 years old, a Chevy, and I don't know if it was new, but presuming it was new, if I did the math right, it must have been about a 1929. And she says, I still remember the license number, 10-4550. As was mentioned, her mind was sharp, even on up through the later years. And then she said, "Going barefoot was one of the delights of my childhood. Shoes and stockings were the first things to go in the spring. All summer long, we would have the freedom of bare feet, with shoes reserved for church and special occasions. Of course, cut feet and stubbed toes were not rare, but well worth the price." Just a few of the many memories that Erna had compiled.